Hey everyone, pathing in general is an idea that I think is not talked about as much as it needs to be in Slay the Spire, and this is a run that really highlights the importance of it. So I think if you draft your cards and play the fights exactly the same, but pick different pathing options, you probably don't win this run. It was something that was very important because I had an early wing boots from Niao, and you will see coming up a lot of the ideas that are discussed and how big of an impact they made. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time. These Niaos are not great. I really don't love remove on Clad in general. P-Strike is something you need to click sometimes, and remove hurts you a little bit. It's basically no immediate power because while the other characters want to draw like their broken starter cards very often, like Regent wants to draw Falling Star, Silent draws Neutralize, Survivor, whatever. Your other characters have really broken starter cards, and Clad does not. Clad has this piece of crap. So we're kind of sad to remove because we're just like increasing chance for that. Niao's Bones, I think, has just too much of a chance to low roll and get completely destroyed. And I really don't want to do that. I think this is just wing boots, and we say that we will get power later and maybe invest some early power in the shop. Because I do see this really nice kind of 4 elite path with some shops. With a small deviation option here. So if we cannot brute force. But yeah, I think I just take wing boots. If something goes really bad, you know, we can just like hop to a fire. But the idea would be to save wing boots for next act to farm a lot of elites. And basically just invest inside of early power. So the macro idea in this run would be to spend all our money on early power, which is going to allow us to snowball really hard to be able to take the Act 2 elites. And the new triangle elite inside of Act 2, Clad does pretty well in because you're usually just hitting it anyways. So farming Act 2 elites is pretty viable on this character. And hopefully, even if our deck is like worse because we build a deck that can beat Act 1 and Act 2, we are able to just have a lot of relics because we got a ton of elites. And then our late game is good with a lot of relic supports. That is the idea. We'll see if that actually is true, and we'll adjust our path based on if this is like a fighter or if this is a fight or something. I think probably we always do this, to be honest, at least for the beginning, and then we'll see. Like, we could hop here, you know, use one wing boost charge to make your path a lot safer and farm 4. Seems pretty good. Cloud is weird because like you're just trying to leverage Burning Blood. This is at its strongest in early game. Like this number matters the most inside of early game. This is always 1 defend, and then we can think about whether we want to trade 3 to play Bash. I think I do. There's a low roll situation basically where if you don't play Bash here, you draw no damage next turn, and then you can't kill when it starts actually hitting you for big numbers. And I'm just gonna trade to prevent that low roll case. So Burning Pact is probably the best card on the screen for later, but once again, I kind of have described already this idea that we just want to be as strong now as possible, and Tremble is definitely the strongest thing right now for that. Molten Fist is just kind of almost never. Burning Pact if we had some strong front-loaded Niao option, but we don't. Okay. This is just double defend, because we cannot lethal. And then we can think about where to Vuln. On one hand, going here is 3 strike lethal after Vuln, and we do have that. I would like to hit this instead just because it's going to multi me sooner than this guy, but I think that the 28 threshold is just a little weird. So what we can do is, yeah, we do this 2 strike lethal thing. And then next turn now, we try to make some progress on here as we kill here. The other idea would be to... We do not have lethal next turn, actually, if I do this. So maybe we just block here, and we instead say that next turn we're double striking here, and instead I go, like, bash into... It's actually better to play 2 strikes, right? Because if next turn we're not playing any strikes on the guy, then there's no reason to have Vuln. So you'd rather do this. If you play anything here, it dies, and we don't want that. This fight's actually a little bit complicated for micro. Because you're frail, you basically never want to actually be spending time blocking. And yeah, okay, works out for us pretty nicely here. I think there's a lot of ways that you can play that fight wrongly and then kind of get owned. Havoc is basically never. This card is just like way too clunky. Pummel Strike is probably what's getting clicked here. I don't have any way to proc Spite, and I think I'd rather just have like an Anger or something. Pummel Strike is just like bread and butter, very good. Also plays with Energy Potion. Okay, Greed right into Shop, and maybe second Shop later. Seems very clear that this is good. If you really care about the curse downside, you can just spend some of that money on a remove and pretend that Greed is Strike every time you draw it. You're not that happy to draw Strike anyways, so it doesn't usually matter. There's an interesting line here. With Pommel Strike, I am very inclined to want Bread Energy. And on turn 1, we could just have Orichalcum block for us. We also have Energy Potion to cover. And that means I don't have to care so much about playing like Shrug or whatever. Prowess is also pretty sick. Unfortunately, we cannot afford it with everything, but I think that like Bread by Orichalcum is going to be enough output. Like 1 extra energy is probably better than Strength, right? We can just play Strike or whatever, especially with Pommel Strike upgrade, but I think that the Bread is good. Alternatively, we can buy Happy Flower. It's sort of similar with less downside, but I think Orichalcum is just definitely clearly in. And then we basically never try to play defense now. We just focus on hitting. This can also work really nicely with a lot of clad stuff in general. Like you basically just want to hit the enemy and scale, and don't really want to spend energy on block almost ever. If you are, it's usually like a really big block card like Blood Wall or like Impervious or something. So I think I'm down for Bread. And then this also makes Coco better next act. We should not buy Shrug now, even though we can't afford it, because there's a second shot, but also Orichalcum, it's like basically block 2. I'd rather just draw into damage. Sword of Stone, we actually will get this fairly likely, right? In early act 2. And I don't really want to lose the HP. I think this is like very good sword, actually. The other option is usually like better if you're scared. But I think with Wing Boots, I can use this to get early power too. We can basically react now to what I said earlier and just shift a lot of our focus now to just surviving until this procs, and we have Bread for endgame as well. So Wing Boots can be an early game thing now instead of a late game thing. It can just kind of save us. And this should just be upgrade Pummel. With Orichalcum, I don't foresee us taking a lot of damage. It can be quite rough in general. But I think I just play Pummel here. We can maybe Energy Pot Bash somewhere. That would be on a different target if we did that. Lots of block next turn, which is not great. Our energy doesn't usually convert fully. It can. Like triple block or whatever, but... Could see Energy Pot. Could also see just like using the Swing Boots charge, committing it, right? And using Energy Pot later on a turn 1 that's like scarier than this. Our damage is not great, because basically our damage is coming from the fact that we have extra energy. And in this fight in particular... that often doesn't actually do anything, unfortunately. I think we Vuln here still, because Pommel Strike redraw will kill. Do not play Defend, because it's actually 1 block less. And we will hit the guy that's buffing now, just to make a little bit more progress. We can hit twice here. And we can double defend to block for 4, basically, or we can play Strike. So it's basically block 4 or play 6 damage. I think I will block for 4 here. Yeah, Terror Eel's probably the best fight here. Can we kill here? It says 29 HP, and this is 15. Yes. You can see the extra energy with Bread also doing a lot with the Orichalcum, right? This is killing, right? 34, 15. With Energy Pot, maybe? I'll just hit here. We can Energy Pot here to save a bit. Come down. You dead? Why would I be dead? Coral's not that bad with Orichalcum. That closes a lot of the low rolls. Clamp with Orichalcum, probably not doing a whole lot. We can do Blood Wall with Sturdy Clamp. And that, again, is a card that I do want to pick with the Orichalcum, because if you're going to play a big block card, that's the kind of block card you want to play. Damage is not really getting better, but again, we have Bread for that output. And we're just playing extra cards with the Pommel Strike. I think we take Blood Wall here. We can store clamp value. This is definitely a leap here to this, and we can buy like potions or damage cards in the shop if we need. This is probably rest. I think with rest we get through basically everything. Could also be blood wall upgrade into rest of the next thing. Really depends on what this relic is, but I think I am willing to just rest here, and then if I get punished with like a rest site relic here, then oh well. That's pretty good on turn 1. Turn 1 support with bread, like Orichalcum Red Mask is basically blocking whatever I need on turn 1. And we can just focus on hitting. And then long fights usually go a bit better. This guy, unfortunately, we did not hit damage threshold, but that's okay. No reason to play defend. Again, it's just -1. Okay, Blood Wall should be played. Now the question is, do I want to do 9? I don't think so. I think we just block here because the idea being that we hit damage cap on this turn with the Pommel Strike and Vuln. We sort of expect that. Next turn, 2 strikes is lethal. It's probably just block. And I don't need to take extra damage. We retain 2 block as well, which can be bad, but in this case, we just sort of win. Whetstone, click after. Yeah, click uppercut. Vuln, and then maybe we can pick Vuln payoff. Also really nice with bread. Can't be played turn 1, but is just something that's like pretty decent. Strike plus is like fine here, to be honest. So we go to the shop, I think, and then make a decision about whether we can do this or not. I don't think taking the question mark is better than the shop. The shop is less value long-term, obviously. Like, you're using gold that can just be spent later, but I think I care more about really just winning early game, which is like potions and stuff here. Also, Inferno is pretty sick. Entrance with bread is really nice because we usually don't have anything to play on turn 1 anyways. So I can see that. Powers are nice to put in play with Orichalcum and bread as well. Like on turn 1, we want to play those things. And that sort of helps with like Blood Wall, damage output. I think it's just nice to have entrance plus this, right? I could see resting here. Could also see upgrade instead. I don't love running into the elite here, I think. When I need HP here, this guy, we're really just trying to like keep Volt on it and just hit it. So I think I uppercut upgrade and then rest later, because uppercut should save HP inside this elite as well. That's a very good thing to see. Just chest with money in it. Let's just play this anyways. No reason to play defend again. Same deal. When I'm jumping to rest side, I want to save the wing boots charge 1, but 2, the idea really is that the shop is just higher value because we need power for the boss as well. And rest side doesn't really give us meaningful power for that. It's permavol and we have no Vuln payoff, so no reason to play bash, just quick cards. Okay. We can play Blood Wall for some damage. But I think I just double block. Try to save the Inferno proc, because it can sometimes die here with like Pommel Strike. Yep. Save 2. Okay, Colorless Potion's excellent. Artivore on turn 1, if we draw powers, is really good. Can also just skip, but then have like energy for an insane amount. The problem is like Dramatic Entrance wants to be played, so it's not usually going to be that good. All these are really awkward. Don't really play on turn 1 ever. We don't really have a whole lot of damage for the boss. I think I'd probably just rest and use my pot again. Again, we're just like using all our early resources because if we make it to the sword being procced, we're probably okay. So let's probably just skip. The question is, do I upgrade Inferno or just rest? Clamp goes in this fight, so that can help. And our bread is like giga value. The question is, are we safe enough? Inferno's a lot of damage output. I'm a little worried about not having HP. I think we will kill fast enough. I think I just upgrade and then upgrade this. And then we glug Colorless Pot when we need to block, basically. Okay, we can take Artivore here and leave this. No reason to play this because this is blocking more. Okay. We'll just open on a turn where we get like uppercut and Inferno or whatever. No uppercut, but that's fine. No reason to play that. No reason not to, really, though. No reason to play Bash, I think. We just do this. Going perfectly to 0 block here. Great. And this is where we sort of just push damage. Next turn we're blocking in, and our Inferno is going in quite a bit. 13 damage worth doing. Okay. This is the turn that maybe we need to push a bit. But this is why we upgraded Inferno. Could see colorless pot because we missed Vuln here. Splash is excellent. Let's see what this is. Strangle with our extra energy and also works after we get debuffed. Seems good. Just play that now. And we have Inferno, Uppercut. Should be fine here. Okay. Mangle is like weird. It's like easier to play with Bread, but turn 1 is not doing anything. Feed, we have Clamp, so it's easier to sit around, but Inferno is working against it. Cascade basically needs the upgrade here. But with extra energy plays better. It just can like hit defense randomly and kind of own us. Cascade with 5 energy potentially. It kind of needs the upgrade. I think it's just feed. We're basically getting to the point where we're going to be safe. I think with Wing Boots, we are going to be safe here. I think we've made it out of the dangerous part of this run so far. And we've just aggressively skipped and the deck looks pretty good. We haven't added very many cards, right? But the card quality is very high. Like every card we've added has been very good. And feed lets us have a much more comfortable endgame. You start grabbing strength scaling attacks for sorters, the value just there and everything. It's kind of just there. We can definitely think about it for sure. I'll need to find a way to scale boss damage because right now it's mostly like Inferno doing it. I'm glad I upgraded, by the way. I think it's really, really good. Could upgrade? I could, but I could also just take feed, right? Cascade on turn 1, I guess, is like okay, but it's one of the two. I think Mangle is basically never here. Feed is a lot of value in endgame. And the deck is pretty small. And we're going to be tanking turn 1. I think I like feed better. Oh, weird looking map. But this is what Wing Boots are for, you know? We can just also take hallways here. Depending on what the Niao is, right? Or the Ancient, but yeah, the idea would be to get the sword before the boss for sure. So we can work on Wing Boots to get that. Could be shop, then jump, or shop into like this. I mean, depends on how the act goes and what this bonus is. Hopefully we just see like Luminescence or something. That'd be nice. Shrimp. Break. Driftwood is also crazy. Shrimp is really not that good. I guess it's Blood Wall. Shrimp Blood Wall is pretty insane. We don't have actual Vuln synergy right now. Break is just really fun. But I think I like just not getting owned turn 1 to set up our bread, right? Like we just Shrimp Blood Wall. Any block that gets not used gets carried over with Clamp. Transforming Defense on Clad is the meta. No, it's not really ever been the meta. It's usually been strikes always. If no bread, then we would just take Bash, right? Basically, Driftwood is long-term power. It's not short-term power, right? So if you are strong immediately, then you can take Driftwood to scale into endgame. I think right now our scaling is going to be secured with like Sword of Stone and just farming a bunch of elites, right? If I'm not taking break, I'm thinking about removing Bash entirely. Strikes are still worse than Bash. Bash is just artifact strip at worst case, and Vuln is good. Like it's not that bad. Strikes are still worse. What would you be looking for? Basically dominate, bloodletting, burning pact, all the regular broken stuff on Clad. The deck is just generically good right now. It doesn't really have a lot of direction, but it has a lot of ways it could go. Like we could scale with Rupture with the Inferno. We could scale with Bloodletting into Exhaust down because the deck is pretty small with like a Second Wind and like Burning Pact or whatever. We have a lot of ways. I don't think we need more Vuln right now until we get a Vuln payoff, but even so, like Tremble Uppercut is enough, right? I think this is just Shrimp into Blood Wall to not get destroyed on turn 1 every fight. Feed is very strong. Cascade and Feed are kind of similar, but I have to draw into Cascade for it to be good, and Feed I don't have to draw into. It's really close to killing. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I'm gonna break my Art of War. We'll try to just stun this guy with like the clamp and get around to feed again. Try not to play the Inferno. Fortunately, I started 3 block and didn't draw anything this turn, but this is the thing. It is worth just taking some damage here to try and land feed with wing boots. I think we are going to be relatively safe. So yeah, I will pay some life here, even though I could kill, you know, pay 12 to get feed or whatever. Maybe more than 12, jeez. Okay, it's fine. Adding block cards now with this shrimp is making more sense now. I think that not picking the break here is correct compared to just having a lot of front load block. Because once you get bread activated, you're usually okay. Break is like not saving your turn 1. Yeah, I could see Shrug, could see just skip. Shrug with extra energy is nice because we brick a decent amount throughout the fight. Dominate, we consider Rick? Yeah. Sure. This is not great, but at least I get Artivore here. It's just I'm not likely to do anything with it. And you can see it's like, until this is procced, we're not like that strong. I think should just play Strike here to try and land feed. We will just use the wing boots to not get owned, basically. Not sure I'm gonna be able to land this, but we'll try. Nice. That's good for solving a boss. Second wind is pretty nice. We would have been able to stall 2 more turns after that, though. We didn't need to draw feed there. But yeah, second one with Pummel Strike. Second one on turn 1 is good. Dense block card with 1 energy. And deals with some statuses later that I am thinking about, like the Aeon Glass and also the Insatiable here. Once again, our Bloodwall Shrimp paying off, because otherwise, like, you don't make progress. This guy's still attacking you next turn. Can block here, I think. It's just full block. Second winning Frantic Escape is good, by the way. So feed will probably just be played whenever we draw it. So I think we just play Inferno here. Fortunately, no clamp on this, but we need to like get out of here. Really bad draw. We could have drawn second wind or feed here and both work. And instead we drew nothing. Should probably just kill the guy. Don't even necessarily get feed here, unfortunately, but we can stall a bit. Can try. Yeah, pay 1 here to try and redraw feed right here. Do not get it. It's fine. Molten Fist, Breakthrough, Cinder, basically all skips. Breakthrough, we have Inferno for like our AoE and Dramatic Entrance. Just doesn't really matter. Molten Fist, and no Vuln payoff, just kind of a brick. Cinder also just sort of a brick. And yeah, we'll use Wing Boots, dodge a bit if we need to. I think the main goal would be to make sure we can get... Probably not this, actually. Probably this. The main goal is to make sure we proc this before this guy, or we will have issues. So I think I'm going right here. Paying life here is a little weird, but I don't want Bing Bong, so I'm going to pay 5. Daughter is probably the best one. Does break our Orichalcum sometimes, but I don't think we're really blocking with Orichalcum that much right now anyways. After the shrimp. Tent. We go to a lot of campfires, and that's a lot of sustain. Right now the upgrades are not that good. We can take worms with HP. Without HP, no, but the goal is to get HP. Tent is not letting us take this, I don't think. It would be really nice to, but I think with this amount of health, I'm not allowed. Without a pot. If I had a pot, I can. I would really like to, because this fight is not even so free, you know? So I don't really care that much about the upgrades right now. I think we just plan to rest the fire and I buy like 2 pots and like cards or something. Like I buy blood pot into like strength pot or something. Or like meal ticket. Meal ticket's a little weird to purchase here. Honestly, the frog is kind of cool. If I could buy that in blood pot, I would probably do that. I need HP now in order to fight this elite. I think if I buy blood pot, I can fight the elite, and that's maybe the more important thing. Mind Blast is funny on turn 1. You play 1 card, it's always Mind Blast. Killing the B guy is pretty annoying, but we have Inferno, I guess. Using 2 Wing Boots charges here is kind of weird. We could just jump and then stay on this path and then maybe jump again here. That makes more sense, I think. So we could do Tent and go left. Tent is broken if you make it to this fire, but if we're going to commit Wing Boots charge here, it's like, it's not solving the immediate problem, which is right now dying on this floor. That's what I'm scared of. You basically with the Sword of the Stone here feel like your late game should be good, and then we should be scared immediately because I have like feed value as well stacking up. So I think we use the Wing Boots charge and can do like this even. Don't even have to use the other one. But now I think with HP we are always fine here. And could even upgrade this. Could upgrade this. Bloodwall's not a bad upgrade here. Store some extra block. Then I want Artivore and to not add a Daze. I think I'm down to Ritual Pot here. This guy is like pretty annoying. I'm wondering about the Worm though, if we want the Ritual Pot there, which maybe is true, even with 3 strength. Reason for not upgrading feed is basically the same as what I just said. You should not be worried about the endgame being good. You should be worried about right now being bad. Feed is just an upgrade that literally does like nothing now. It's just a later upgrade. I think we just try to draw into our Inferno. That's our main way of dealing damage in this fight. Okay. Must be played. Second wind is cooked here, but that's okay. And this is damage now with Vuln and Daughter block. Let's Dragon C first. There's an argument for trying to draw dazes after you put them in, because I'm playing Uppercut, but we'll just do this. And we play Strike for 1 block. Damage. I think I should just play this. I don't think we're getting back around to this. You can see the problem, right? This fight's like scary. We should shuffle here before. Actually, it's not how it works apparently. Unlucky. Because it needs to die now. Could jump to fire immediately. It should die though. Another uppercut. Lots of vuln payoff, but here's weakness. I can see jumping after the fire if this is not exactly like a healing thing. 2 fires and then upgrade uppercut's very good. And then we get our strength here. Yeah, I think we take another uppercut here. Another card that doesn't really play on turn 1, but that's okay. We don't ever jump before seeing the chest here. That's more late game stuff. I think I want my HP like double rest, obviously with Tent. Then from here, maybe entrance or something. Ooh. I don't mind having cards here. Like more Pommel's bloodletting chances are really good. Also just cards that I can care about upgrading, because right now I don't care about upgrades on anything. There's a bloodletting. Another shrug. Could take sword boomerang for strength scaling as well. Could see sword boomerang. Yeah. And of course we run in, we need the strength. This is probably not doing a whole lot, but this is also probably not doing a whole lot without much draw. So let's just upgrade this. Have to run in here. The boomer is really bad here, but that's okay. Upgrade pot for dramatic entrance upgrade. Kind of weird, but also like upgrades feed, I guess. Is the guy that debuffs this next turn? Just need to kill one to control the fight. Feed shouldn't be that hard to land, but we'll see. Interesting turn. That's why we did this line, though. We're just trying to draw into Inferno to win. Need HP, basically, to guarantee that until the deck gets better. Uppercut deck. Will weaken you. Also makes progress on killing it next turn, which we have a lot of energy and a lot of attacks. That's all we're doing. We'll do this. Fortunately, we're not going to land feed, but I can use this to proc the thing. And I can, next turn, try to draw feed, which I will. It's green. So no strike here. It's -1 block, but we get a chance at high rolling here. Do not. So we're going to get the hell out of here. And feed for us. Captain's Wheel is amazing. You can store that block. Also, plating with Orichalcum is pretty interesting. And works with Clamp. Cascade into Upgrade Cascade also makes a lot of sense here. Works with our Bloodletting energy as well. I think I like that better. Stone Armor is like interesting because it's green especially, but we kind of need output. Kind of rough this fight. But we have this and we have Clamp, so maybe no Inferno. Feels a little stupid to miss Inferno, but we have 3 strength now, so Cascade on the bad turn can be stupid, so be careful. This is skip. We're just looking at like a lot of the same cards, so I was just going through that quickly, but Cascade. We can upgrade Bloodletting next act. Unfortunately, draw Uppercut here. I'm gonna Ritual Pot immediately. And we'll go ahead and play some attacks here. We can play Bloodletting for extra damage. I don't really care though. I think I'll just try to block a bit. We have Captain's Wheel here. And weakness. Just sort of go in. If I draw Frantic Escape here, it could be bad. Not that bad because we have Cascade to just kind of draw through, but we shuffle out all the Frantic Escapes. I will second wind my defend here because it's kind of a bad card. And I need to basically play these Frantic Escapes or I can die. So maybe no Cascade, we just play Uppercut. Or not Cascade for a high value, I should say. This thing will die here. I think I will play this. It's a little bit... It's like we lose 1 HP, but we make 9 damage happen. And it's almost dead. I shouldn't need to play Frantic Escape here, because I will always draw into like feed or something. So let's just try to kill with feed here. Paying 1 life of the Inferno here, but that is healed back next act. We get feedback anyways. Okay, Cruelty is really good damage scaling for later. Pyre's unneeded because it's basically just bread 2. This is like helping scale our Jade Sword. Really solid. Okay, then a Pepe. Let's just see the options before we look at the path. Beautiful Bracelet on Bloodletting is really sick. Can also just be rich. Only 1 store though, so probably not. And no courier. Glam is pretty interesting. Cascade with Glam is pretty cool. Swift is a really broken. Doesn't really work with Dramatic Entrance all that well, like normally it would. And on turn 1, anything with that is not great either. It's just we don't have a whole lot of draw in this deck. It's like kind of sit there. But we can also cheese that by just having Glam on all our cards because basically if you don't draw really like a lot of cards, you just play really high impact cards instead and then you win. I think it's probably just Glam. And then we want to look at a lot of cards, so we probably just like farm hallways into fires later. Seems good. It is Aeon Glass Test Subject, which is probably the hardest combination of bosses here. So we need to respect that. But I think like if we see like a dominate or something, dominate glam is like winning on the spot. That's kind of how we'd win. We'll just play this first and then see what we draw. Both these should be played, I think. Could take a little bit here, but doubt it. Bloodletting is played very interestingly. I guess we can play this for fun. Doesn't actually do anything, but the line should be pretty simple from here. We can try to land feed. Should die next turn, basically no matter what, any attacks kill. No feed, so we will just get out of here. Okay, Flame Barrier Replay is 1,000,000 damage. Havoc is pretty interesting. Basically a bunch of draw, energy cheat. Does this work? Let's say I don't play it and I just exhaust it. Would it replay from exhaust? I think it should, right? Flame Barrier is insane. It's a lot of damage. It's very good. Also against these guys would be really sick. You can see this this blood wall shrimp has been really important, right? If you didn't take this, you're taking damage everywhere. Okay, do we just cascade and see? Kind of just want to draw into like my broken stuff. Weakness is not that important compared to like a shit ton of chart or a shit ton of card draw. Okay, unfortunately it works the bad order, but it also doesn't matter because they're like all dead. And feed kills here. Shrug plus replay, that cannot be bad. Basically with this, you're clicking a lot of cards because when stuff is replayed, it's very strong. It's very high value. Flooding into entrance, store some block, get Vuln down. Let's shrug and see. Or we can just rip Cascade, but I think we shrug. Okay, that's always better than playing Cascade then. You can play this now. The targeted damage is not great, so we'll see where this goes. Inferno down is probably the most important thing. Take a little bit here, but this at least dies now to Inferno. I don't care about this guy. The Cruelty, and just rush the guy down. I'm probably not getting feed here, but we can try. We'll just try to draw into it. This procs Rupture. Or sorry, the thing. You guys know what I mean. They all die next turn to it. So we can hit here and then put this in feed range. Still want to be in feed range, I think. Yep, perfect. Uppercut replay. It says plus on it. That's third uppercut. We probably don't need more than that, but I mean, it's replay. How bad could it be, you know? Most of the time, it's just gonna be very strong. I'll just play this to get my uppercut down. My one of 3 uppercuts. For now, usually just must be played, I think. Maybe not the case here, but I think it's a safe bet. Just having Artifact Strip and extra debuffs against both these guys is really important. Like, you needed to be able to strip artifacts, so you kind of have to overpick debuffs against Aeon Glass. Definitely one thing to be thinking about. And you can see the 3 strength, like, once we got that, we felt a lot stronger, basically. We could have done that in a different order, but shouldn't really matter. Fortunately, not quite. I can try to attack pot. Because attack pot for endgame is not really all that good. We'll probably replace this. Is this doing too much damage? No. Quick mass. Pommel strike, and that will be upgraded expeditiously. Shop is higher value than elite here, for sure. You basically get the same rewards, just Otherwise, you can't spend any of your money, and that's obviously not very good. Okay, bloodletting is here. Do I play it? Probably, just to draw that. I didn't want to use the shrug, because this replay is pretty good value. This is nice for turn 1 against the bosses if we need it. This fight's not great, but again, we have fires that are guaranteed heals with a tent, so. I think we will just this. Nice. The replay goes away after you use it once. Did not play Inferno, so I can't actually do this. No, we draw feed here. Very nice. Rampage replay is really funny. Battle Trance replay doesn't do anything. I don't think this is needed, but it does scale a lot faster than normal. We could get it upgraded. It's a really nice solve for this guy. I don't hate it. I want this upgraded, this upgraded. Those are the big upgrades. We have 3 fires, so this would be the 3rd one. Paper Frog? I think that works with Sword of Jade, by the way. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that works. So that is a 3 strength, fully stacked Giria. That's pretty cool. That might be better, but I don't know. How often do you get to do that, you know? Remove plus Vicious. Can buy Colorless Potion, but I think these pots are pretty good. Vicious with like energy after turn 1 is like nice. But we only have 1 bloodletting. I guess we have an energy pot. You can definitely see remove being good here, so I think we just click that. Strike, defend doesn't really matter that much. Vicious wants the upgrade, and that's a little bit too much upgrade debt. Maybe Rampage we just sort of don't worry about now with the Ruin Helmet. We're just going to be strong enough with like the Sword Boomerang. I think I'm down to click Vicious, and we can maybe just upgrade that. Or that's our upgrade for it. We'll see. Pommel Strike upgrade. Could do this, could do this, could do this. Could do this. I think probably right now, most important thing is just Cruelty. Just damage upgrade. And we should be fine against all the elites here. We have a lot of artifact strip for the knight as well. Unfortunately, I'm going to save the Pommel Strike for later on the replay, because I can't actually turn the draw into anything right now. If this guy hits me, it's like, okay, you know? That also does 8,000 damage. 6 strength. So we are very, very strong now. Don't even need to dominate, basically. I don't think we're going to get around to feed, but we can try. Does that kill it? I actually don't know. It's a Guard of War here. Not quite. We'll try. If we don't get it, we don't get it. We do not. It's fine. I'm not taking this hit for that. The Embrace is really funny. Colossus is here. That just like kind of always works and lets us keep clamp block more easily. Forgotten Ritual would be good if we had really any exhaust at all. We have Dramatic Entrance. That's it, basically. So yeah, probably just Colossus. Pommel Strike. Bloodletting upgrade is also pretty important. If we're going to upgrade Vicious, Bloodletting maybe is more important. We'll see. I did get the upgrade on it, by the way. Also, that's 40 block. That's pretty funny, the Van Brace Shrimp. Play this. It's -1 energy next turn, but that's a lot of damage to do on turn 1. Okay, Glam. It's really strong. Cascade here. I don't really care about blocking this. We'll just see what this has. Yep, it's completely fine. He fortunately does not take my enchantments, though. If I want to try to land feed here, we shouldn't play this. I think I will play this into Bloodletting and keep some block around. Exhausting all of this and getting the deck thinned down means that we draw the feed pretty easily here. So we can shuffle all this out. No reason to shuffle anything in. And boom, boom. Now we can stall for feed. Replay Inferno. I'm gonna take 1,000,000 damage for doing that. Body Slam is kind of interesting with Shrimp, but probably just not needed. I don't think we need Sword Boomerang either. I think we just keep the deck kind of small here. This seems like it doesn't help. Heart of Iron's interesting. This is in case we draw stuff I want to play on turn 1 against the bosses in particular, so probably it's fine. We have a lot of HP. This is why feed is good. Like, you basically don't need the block because you can just pay life instead. When you play more copies of Inferno, it makes you lose more life. Unless I am completely misremembering something, but... Shrug Plus again. These replay cards are just really, really good. Okay, I don't think we need the Rampage upgrade. It should be plenty of damage without it. So we could just take Vicious and try to draw into our Bloodletting more. Unfortunately, no target exhaust means it's a little bit hard to get down to a loop, but we do have a second wind. And so if we have a lot of draw, then the second wind is going to let us exhaust down pretty easily. Okay. This fight, I do not want to lose Bloodletting here, so I'm not going to second wind. Aryavor makes a lot of sense here because we have a lot of pummel strikes and like replay shrugs and whatever. So I think we just pass. I don't care about storing 2 block, I don't think. Or exhausting feed. Yeah, we didn't see the like stereotypical ways to scale, I think, in this run. But it's not going to matter. And we will show that. Can store more block, but I think I will just push a lot of damage here. And take a little bit with the Wither, I don't really care. Just want to make some progress. Draw a lot here. Draw into the Cascade and our powers. Probably just do this instead. All our powers are at the bottom here, but we have like replay block cards that should be very easy. This is fine. If we hit the replay block cards, it's not great, but we can only hit one of them basically, not both ever. I was free. It's not free because this guy punishes card plays. I think this is probably just to play Cruelty, play Flame Barrier. No Vicious in play. We can scale Rampage and shuffle it in. Clad deals with this boss pretty nicely. I think I will Uppercut before Vicious. I can also just not play Uppercut. Yeah, I don't want to draw more here because I want to like not miss my Cascade and Rampage and whatnot. It's right there. Okay, we make a Wither here and then we second wind it all the way. Okay, and this is why we have health, right? Because now when you have this, I don't actually need to panic and freak out. I can just take the hit and save my pots for the test subject. Was Bash kill? No, right? Maybe we can feed this guy as well. Yep. Okay, nothing to wait on, I believe. Really nice fight. This fight, I assume, will be harder. Luckily we draw Bloodletting here, so we do Inferno first. Then Bloodletting to play Vicious. We make as much progress as we possibly can. I will save this, I think, for later until I'm bricking. I'm floating 1 energy, but that's not a big deal. We have an energy pot as well. I would like to save this for later if possible. So I think we just uppercut and see what we draw. Cascade is fine. Let's kill. We store a bit of block. Making progress on getting our powers down. I don't want to get rid of this replay shrug, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. We can sort of just do it. Because I really didn't want to draw into this is the main thing. And see how much draw is actually happening here. This guy's dead now. We do this into replay pommel. And here, if we want to, we can exhaust. It's not the worst idea ever. Exhaust the other shrug, I don't care because we have plenty of block and pommel strikes to draw, so probably. I think a lot of people are scared to like do stuff like that where you just exhaust a bunch of cards, but you should think about what is actually important. Like if you get down to a loop of 5 cards, you're probably just winning. Unless your deck is like very bad. But like, I can basically just draw Bloodletting often, and if I draw Bloodletting every turn, I kind of just win. Like here, I'm willing to commit Energy Pot. Obviously, it's like the last fight. So we'll just try to draw into Bloodletting. We do. And just have a really big turn while it's still vulnerable. Rampage is not quite enough. If I draw a second win, we just win on the spot, basically. So let's just try. It's still quite a lot. It's very, very close. Yeah, very comfortable win here. Second win everything away. Don't need anything. You can see that basically the whole game plan worked out in exactly how he wanted it to. The Jade Sword plan, like the second we saw that, and like the Wing Boots bread idea with the Orichalcum, is just get to late game. Late game will be comfortable. Do stuff inside of Act 1 and 2 to mitigate risk, because I think a lot of people either make the mistake of not shrimping the right thing there or not picking the shrimp at all, or trying to like buy tent and then fight the elite anyways, instead of like using Wing Boots charges to jump to fires. There's ways to extract value out of that act without putting a lot of risk in the short term. When you can identify that your late game is good, you should just try to make it there, basically. Obviously, still like farm elites and stuff, you know, but we put together like pretty good engine deck, like just picked the good cards early, didn't really add a lot of bloat because we have like Orichalcum from the shop and like the Wing Boots, so the path is pretty safe. We can just farm a lot of hallways, see the cards, and be pretty particular. And then with Glam, we just add the high value stuff. The Nia was not very good, and we just sort of converted to a pretty comfortable win. And you can see Ironclad versus Aeon Glass does pretty well, right? Test subject, as long as you have enough like Vol and debuffs and whatnot, then you're okay as well. I think even without the Rune Helmet, you kind of just buy something else in that shop and you're okay. Like 6 strength is not so much that it's like very needed. You can just buy Paper Frog there, or you can buy like a Rupture or whatever. There's a lot of ways to solve damage. It's just like we got to a point where the damage is enough, and then I just focus on not drawing brick hands and drawing like these big chunky block cards with Glam on them, and we're not going to take damage. No, the 68 HP remaining, and the potions were kind of extra. We didn't need to use them. Frog do anything? Yeah, I mean you just debuff it, and it's like, this deck has 3 uppercuts and one of them is Glammed and it has a Tremble and a Bash. Like, it's gonna get debuffed, you know? You don't have to worry about it. You do need to overpick debuffs a little bit because of Aeon Glass existence. The scariest part of this run is definitely inside of Act 2 against the Entomancer. You can see how much damage we take. I knew this was going to happen, which is why we like jumped to rest, right? The elites are not comfy until you get your Jade Sword, and then everything gets better. But you can see every elite is 40 damage. Which I think when someone asked, how are you against the Decimal Millipedes? And I said, like, we win with HP. As long as you have time to draw into your Inferno, you will win. But you need time. So you just need HP, because the only thing that can guarantee a good draw order is drawing your entire deck, which just means you have enough health to face tank the enemy. And then you win comfortably, right? And I don't think you need to worry about holding your Ritual Pot. You can in this fight. It's not actually needed. But there's no reason to hold it for endgame, because once you make it out of this fight, you're probably just chilling. Like, you see an Ancient, you can farm Act 3 really easily. You can see we ran into max hallways, max card rewards with Glam. Take no events in Act 3, just don't risk the really bad ones.